What do you say to trans black women who say that you're centering yourself and that you're being opportunistic and focusing on your attraction as opposed to their issues and without proving that you're ready to do the work?
Okay. We said that we were going to focus on policy.
And we did, and we also
stand
said
on allegations. And we discussed for 4 hours. You want to stand allegations on me? What the f is wrong with you?
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. Okay. So tonight we're going to be talking about Malik Yoba.
As you guys know, he recently declared his attraction to the trans community and wanted to lend his support. However, a lot of the trans women felt as though he was using it as publicity and not genuine. There was also a trans woman who came forward and said when she was 13 and 16 years old that Malik Yoba used to solicit her body. There was several people who came forward and said that they had relations with Malik, and a lot of the trans community that he claimed that he wanted to support was not here in backing him in his support because a lot of people felt like it was not genuine. He did a Breakfast Club interview, and the Breakfast Club was a complete joke, and I'll talk about that later on in this video. I recorded a video talking about the Breakfast Club interview and doing my commentary last week, but I did not get around to editing it, but I'm going to just tie it all in together. So he did the Breakfast Club interview. Like I said, it was a complete joke. He didn't fully answer any questions. He dodged, the full meaning of his trans attraction. The panel that they had was very defensive, combative, and wanted to make people and insult people's intelligence when it came to the subject matter. Anytime Malik was asked anything, he would then throw it back to Charlemagne. Well, what are you, Charlemagne? Or what are you? Or what are this? And what are, and it just was a whole big old joke and a missed opportunity because they could have really educated people who did not understand and did not know what it is, because this is something new that's being, out in the forefront. He then, after the Breakfast Club interview, which I'll go more in details on my thoughts fully later on, but just giving you guys a quick summary. So he then did another interview, and this interview was on Facebook. And so at that interview, the interviewee, I believe the interviewee was named Felicity. And Felicity, you can tell that Felicity was agitated because when she got to trying to ask the real questions that people wanted to ask, he would always change the narrative. He would always bounce it back. Well, no, let's talk about you. And what are you doing? No, tell the people about this. And then she's like, no, I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about you. I want to get to the subject. And he kept dancing around the whole interview and making it a very difficult interview. And he yet again did not answer the real questions. And he kind of controlled the narrative. And so that let me know that that's what he's doing with each and every one of these interviews. He's trying to control the narrative. He doesn't want to be asked the real questions. And if that is the case, I believe he should not do interviews. If you don't want people to ask you what the people really want to know, then don't do interviews, or at the very least say, hey, per my legal team, I cannot comment on that or whatever. He went on this new interview with The Root, and they wanted to know the pressing questions like, hey, you have these allegations, and you also have the trans community who feel like you are using this as a publicity ploy. What do you say to that? He got very angry. He was very mad. He's like, yo, we prepped for 4 hours. Letting you know that he's totally controlling the narrative and trying to totally control what, is being said or how it's being conducted because he wants to dodge the real questions. So he was like, we prepped for 4 hours, you're asking me this, blah, 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 blah. And the interviewer was like, hey, yeah, we did say that we were going to focus on, policies, which we did. Okay, we did that. And now let's talk about the pressing issues, which is the allegations and the community feeling as though you are using this as a publicity stunt. He got irate and mad, and I'm going to show you guys this right now. And you guys let me know what you think. Hopefully The Root doesn't flag my video, but hey, I'll take a chance for y'all.
What do you say to trans black women who say that you're centering yourself and that you're being opportunistic, and focusing on your attraction as opposed to their issues, and without proving that you're ready to do the work. So what would you say to that?
So you and I sat for 4 hours the other day,
Correct.
and we decided how we were going to approach this.
Not,
And
we
decided how we were going to approach this, bro.
We went through a number of questions.
We decided how we were going to approach this.
And
we
we're
said
actually
that
recording, and the more you talk, the better, the worse it looks for you. So what I'm asking is that we're having a
What'd you just
conversation. I said the more that we're talking, the more I'm just concerned. So I'm generally
you just
concerned. I said that the more that it looks bad for you. That's
Really?
what I'm saying. Yes, sir.
This looks bad for me.
Yes, because
Check
I'm
this
asking
out.
a number
No.
of questions.
We're done, bro.
Okay.
We're done. It looks bad for me because I chose to come here to speak to you about. And what I've done, it looks bad for me. It's a setup. I don't like this.
Okay.
We said that we were going to focus on policy.
And we
said
did, and we
said
also,
we're
and
gonna focus on
we
community.
also
And you stand on
said,
allegations,
and
homie.
we
I don't
also
appreciate this
said,
at all.
and no, we had a conversation about a wide range of
this
things.
shit at all, homie.
Questions did feel like it, you know?
I don't. This is not. We discussed for 4 fucking hours. You understand allegations, homie? What is wrong with you?
It started to just...
What is wrong with you?
There.
We sat for 4 fucking hours. We sat for 4
Okay,
fucking hours.
We did sit for hours.
We sat for 4 fucking hours. And you gonna stand some fucking allegations? F you. What is wrong with you? This is my fucking life. The f is wrong with you? Yo.
Can you guys not? This is like...
That's fucked up, man.
We have like...
The fuck is wrong with you, man? We fucking sat for 4 hours.
All right, bro.
Don't tell me shit.
No, let's keep it professional.
Don't tell me about this. Isn't professional. This is life.
His intention is not to antagonize you. We're trying to.
No, we discussed the process. We said we would start. No.
We can talk about it. Let's bring it.
No,
down.
my man.
Just so we had an office setting, nobody's here to
Listen.
argue with you.
No.
But let's keep it professional.
Listen, you're not the one being called names in the street.
But he's not trying to call you.
We're not.
We discussed how we would flow. We said we would start with.
Didn't do this stuff. This is not me, y'all. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
We sat for 4 fucking hours. And you gonna stand some fucking allegations? What the is wrong with you? This is my fucking life.
I gave y'all 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career.
Woo, child. Listening to Malik Yoba, I had to add the R. Kelly in there because it sounded like I was listening to R. Kelly. The only difference is R. Kelly had charges at the time. He had already been in jail, out of jail, and he was facing a lot of stuff. And they had, so-called evidence and this and that. So it's like, I understand. I have a legal team. I can't really speak on it because I have to go to trial for these allegations. Malik Yoba, if you're innocent, you have no evidence. That the girl don't have no evidence. She's just making a pure allegation. If you did not do it, what's wrong with saying, yo, I don't know what that person is talking about. I don't know them. It didn't happen. Or if you have a legal situation where you have an attorney and you have been made not to speak on it, what's wrong with saying, due to my legal counsel, I can't speak on that? And then move on to the question that you should be able to answer. If you're supporting the trans community and they want to know if your support is genuine and they feel like you are not genuine and you're using their plight for publicity, that's something that you should be able to answer. And that, hey, no comment on the allegations. But as far as the trans community, I'm not using this as publicity, blah, 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 blah. He got so mad because he wants to control the narrative. Oh, let's talk about policies. No, we don't want to talk about policies. You came out, you said you're trans attracted. You want to be an activist. So let's talk about what the people want to talk about. Activism is talking about the pressing matters that the people want to talk about, and the people want to know about your support, its genuine nature, and so on and so forth. You can't keep taking these interviews and dancing around the real questions. I feel like if you are not in a place to where you want to answer or fess up to what it is, don't take the interview. Most celebrities, if they have a serious allegation placed on them, you are not about to see them parading around town taking interviews. They lay low, they get their legal counsel on board so that if anything happened, they're ready and their counsel and their team is on go. And that part, you know, that's why it just doesn't, I don't know, it just don't feel right, because even when he's not talking about the allegations, when he is talking for the trans community, it sounds like BS. It don't sound like, you know, like I'm really here for them. He always dances around it. He says, oh no, I never dated a trans, or oh no, not that way. Like kind of like it's like, you know, still kind of like a to him, but yet you want to be an activist, but you don't want to be real. And then it's all these other trans who are like, yo, I dated him back in the day. Oh, this, and it's more than the Mariah Lopez Ebony chick. So it's like, yo, are you going to be real and upfront and talk about the real stuff? Or are you just going to BS? People don't want to see you BS because people really have questions. And I feel like this isn't a topic that he should play around with. And just like the interviewer said, he's making himself sound guilty. I've seen a lot of people who felt like, you know, oh, well, if they prepped for 4 hours and that wasn't on the questions, then that was a setup, whatever. I mean, hey, it is what it is. It may be he didn't ask him that per se question or whatever, and should he have, you know, let him know? Yeah, but if we talked about exactly what you wanted us to talk about, we talk about the policies, we talk about the politics, we talk about all the pressing matters that you want us to talk about. Let's talk about the real now that we got that squared away. I don't see what the problem with that is. And to me, like I said, it makes him look very guilty and not genuine at all. If somebody came out today and was like, oh, Neek, you know, she used to do X, Y, and Z back in the day, and it's a motherfucking lie, I'm going to tell y'all straight up, period, point blank, they're lying, and they going to have to see my lawyer because it's defamation of character and I'm suing them, period. If somebody is putting that serious of an allegation out there and somebody is saying that, they're getting sued, they're lying, period, point blank. If you know that you didn't deal with that person, you know that you wasn't filed in it, why is it such a defensive thing? And yes, they did not prep the question possibly, but why is this such a controlled thing to not talk about? If you didn't do it and you're innocent, then what's the big deal? I don't understand that. And if you have a lawyer because maybe you feel like you can be in jeopardy of this, then I don't see what the big deal is saying like, hey, you know, I'm going to let my legal team sort that out and go after them. I am not going to comment on that. I want to sit here and waste your time and talk about policies that I'm not really knowledgeable on. I don't really articulate very well. I don't convey the message very well, but I just want to sit and waste your time and make it look like I'm an activist, but I don't want to talk about the real stuff that people really want to know. So I just want to sit here and make it look good. Like, no, people don't want to see you sit and BS because not even the trans community is buying it because it don't look genuine. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I feel like if he innocent, I don't understand what the whole antics and why each and every time he does an interview, he tries to control it so much. Like as soon as, like, even if they're not asking the questions about Mariah Lynn or the allegations of the underage, like when like he does like interviews and they're like asking him about, you know, him and trans and this and that, he like totally dances around it, you know, and it's like, dude, like if you ain't really sexually involved with a trans, you never been sexually involved with a trans, which there are a lot of trans who say otherwise. But if you aren't, like, why can't you openly say it? Like, why do you have to dance around all of these topics? It just seems very suspicious to me. But anyways, that's all on that portion of this. I want to know what you guys think about the interview, about him reacting in the way he did. Like I said, there's some people who feel like, oh, that's jacked up. They ambushed him with that question. And there's people like me, like, what's the big deal in answering it? So I want to know which side you're on and how you feel about that. And after I post this video, I have a video from last week that I sat down, I recorded. I was talking about how, you know, the trans attractive conversation is very sensitive, how there was transgender women who were attacking me because I wanted to open up dialogue. I sat and filmed a video and read some comments about how people were talking and what they were saying. And, you know, I don't know. I was just a little spicy in the video, okay? But I didn't get around to editing it. So since we're back on this whole Malik Yoba topic again, I'm gonna post that right after this. Normally, like if I record a video and then I don't get around to it, it just be in the archives. I have so many videos that I'll sit and I'll do like 20 videos in one night, like record them, and then it'll take me a few days to edit through a lot of them, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm over it, like, and it'll just be in the archive. But he back acting up again. So we gonna continue talking again. And I'm gonna just go ahead and release the video that I recorded anyway, you know what I mean? So stay tuned for that. That'll be up on my channel next. And make sure to subscribe if you have not already. Make sure to share my videos. That's the nice thing to do. You know what I'm saying? I be a little spicy sometimes. Y'all gotta bear with me. But hey, don't be like me. Don't be spicy. Be nice and subscribe and share and comment down below. Okay? All right, cool. All right, guys, peace.